Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Echo. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you book recommendations from my mother. My mom is an avid book reader like me, which is great because when she gets new books, it means I also get new books, which is great. But anyway, I was trying to figure out a simple video that I could do since I wasn't doing a TBR jar video this month and I couldn't really do like a reading wrap up because I only read one book last month, so I feel like it'd be a little waste of time to just do one video, just me talking about one specific book. So you're getting this. But anyway, this is just books that my mom thinks are worth the read, are worth your time to indulge yourself in. Okay, but the first one that I'm just gonna go right ahead in is this book, which is actually, she rated this book a 6-star. It's Cunning Folk by Adam L.G. Neville. This is a folk horror story. I don't know why I keep saying folk as like folk and not folk. I don't know. It's just how I pronounce it. But basically, this guy and his family move into this sort of rundown house. It's like a fixer-upper house because they need a house, and his wife doesn't really approve of getting the house, especially considering the previous owner had committed suicide and they don't know the reason for that, and she's like, I don't really want to move into this house, but they do anyway. So but anyway, what ends up happening is these next door neighbors, that's an elderly couple, start not really they're not welcoming. They're being like very, I guess, kind of crazy, I guess. Like a lot of hostilities are coming from them, and the main character, whose name is Tom, the increasing isolation and torment is like not great for them, and he's risking losing everything he has pretty much. And there's also some sort of magic, evil magic going on around here, some sort of ancient evilness that I believe it's saying that he suspects the neighbors are drawing power from, to be evil. But yeah, this is like supernatural horror, and my mom said it was a lot of fun. Pretty much, this has, like I said, she rated this book 6 stars, so this has become one of her like top books that she's read in a long time. And from what she's told me, I have some notes here. It feels like you can really get immersed in this book. Like, you can really connect with the main characters well, and like some scenes just felt like almost jump scares in the book. So yeah, this is one of her recommendations. There's gonna be like a lot of horror books, I'm gonna tell you that right now. She's a big fan of especially like folk horror books. She likes them, so there's gonna be quite a few of them. But anyway, that is the first recommendation. The second one, I actually don't have this book because it was a library book, but it was Pure Nessie by Susanna Clark. That book, I've also read it, and it's amazing. It's just so, it's so beautiful. It's basically about this main character, Pure Nessie. I'm trying to remember exactly what it's about. Basically, he's in this like labyrinth of the house, and every day he not every day, he'll go and go explore the labyrinth and chart all the rooms and kind of what goes on in it. And I believe it's once or twice a week, I can't remember exactly when or exactly how many, but he'll meet with this guy that's called the Other, and he'll tell him what he found and stuff about the labyrinth and stuff like that. And then this other guy pops up and leaves a letter, and there's sort of like the Other makes it clear that this other person is a threat. So they're like, avoid it at all costs. And they're like, all right. And they're like, well, what's going on here? But yeah, and stuff kind of unravels from there. That's what the basic plot is. I don't want to go too more in depth because I don't want to spoil anything. But this book, it's just so good. The plot is amazing, and I love it. The ending was great, and from my mom said it brought, like, the ending especially, like, made the book for her, and it brought her a lot of joy. I will say another thing is, for this book, it does have an unreliable narrator, which you do learn why during the book it's an unreliable narrator. But yeah, that I also recommend that book because I've also read it, and it's fantastic. But anyway, let's get into the next one. The next one is a book that I actually recommended to her. I actually recommended to her Piranesi as well, but this is one that I own, which is The Darkness Outside Us by Elliot Schreffer. You've definitely heard me talk about this book before if you have ever looked at my other videos or seen other videos on my channel. Basically, the premise is there's 2 astronauts in space, and basically they're going to try and find one of the main character's sisters, the main character Ambrose. They're going to try and find his sister, who is on, can I speak correctly? Okay, let me set the scene. There's 2 main characters. There's Ambrose and Kodiak. You are in the point of view of Ambrose for, I think, all of the book. I don't think you're in Kodiak's ever. At least I don't remember. I'm doing a great job at explaining this, especially considering this is one of my favorite books, which you'd think I'd be better at explaining what it's about then. But anyway, pretty much it's about those 2 characters. There was a distress signal from Ambrose's sister Minerva out on one of Saturn's moons, and they're going to try and see if Minerva is alive and try, like, sort of a rescue mission type of thing. And they're going there, and the ship, I don't know, but they have tasks to do around the ship, and I don't hold on a minute. Okay, I had to read the back to make sure I was explaining this right. I'm explaining it horribly, but listen. Basically, that's the gist, but things start not adding up when they're going around the ship and stuff. Like, things start not exactly making sense. But basically, Ambrose and Kodiak have to, like, learn to work together because they're not really friends in the beginning of it. They're more kind of enemies. Not really. They just don't really care for each other, especially Kodiak, because he's, like, barricading himself away in his section of the ship. There's 2 different sections, so Kodiak just kind of barricades himself in there to be left alone. But, you know, things start happening, and they gotta work together once they truly figure out what they're up against, because things happen. That's my synopsis of this book. That was horrible explanation. But listen, you don't come to my channel for good explanations for books, okay? That's not what you come here for. But anyway, my mom said, like, the characters are relatable, and the story plot line is very intriguing, and she also liked how the relationship between Ambrose and Kodiak grew together, and it's very suspenseful and fun. And by the way, this is also, like, a queer book also, just mentioning that. Also, she liked the computer / like the AI voice of the ship. So yeah, that's the thing. This book, I'd say, is like a sci-fi thriller mystery sort of thing. That's what I'd like put this as. So that's this book. That was the worst explanation out of all of them so far. So we're gonna go into the next one, which is A Little Life. Now, my mom, she was kind of like hesitant to recommend this book because it's exceedingly depressing. I'm not planning on reading this one. I don't want to. But basically it follows 4 college classmates. They're like friends, and it follows like their friendship and stuff like that. I think it's over the span. It shows like what happens like over 30 years, I believe, is what this, how long this, what the time, I don't know the timeline. I think it's taken over like roughly 30 years, I believe. There is a lot of trigger warnings for this book. It's like exceedingly depressing. It's like really about trauma, and there's like also friendship stuff. And it's like the most depressing and horrible things you can think of happening in this book pretty much all happen. So my mom was kind of hesitant to recommend this because it could definitely be triggering for like a lot of people, but she still very much liked this book and thought it was good. So yeah. So if you want to read this book, it's just extreme caution with it. I'm personally not going to read it. I don't want to deal with that, you know? I don't think I'm mentally prepared to read like over 800 pages of depression. It's not only depression, there's more to the story than that, but like that's really, it's kind of what it is. But anyway, let's go to the next one. The next one is what A Monster Calls. This is also a movie, but this is basically about like a child dealing with a dying parent, and it's like a very unique way through fairy tales told by a monster, and it's very like kind of a heartbreaking book, which I haven't read it yet, but there's also art in the book, which I've looked through, and it's pretty cool. Like, I'll show this one right here. I'm not gonna go through and show all of them, but just one of them, you know? But, yeah, I've only watched the movie of this, so I thought the movie was good. I'm sure the book is too. But, yeah, this is like struggling to deal with a dying parent is what this book is really about. So that is that one. She also recommends the movie as well, by the way, because the movie is just good. But anyway, let's go to the next one. Where's the next one? Here it is. The next one that we have here is Starve by Andrew Michael Hurley. I believe, yeah, this is also like a movie as well. I haven't seen it, but this is also, I believe, like a folk horror book. Let me read the back real quick. Okay, so this is like also a book about grief. Apparently the 2 main characters, which is Richard and Juliet, their son died. And basically, they stay at their home, Starve, till like, they believe they're like still he's still there somehow, and they want to stay connected with him, you know? So they start like doing different things. So Juliet seeks help of the beacons, which I don't know what that is. It kind of, oh, yeah, okay, it's a seemingly benevolent group of cultists. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured it was. But Richard then, to try and get the boy out of his mind, has turned his attention to the field opposite the house, where he's apparently digging the barren dirt in search of a legendary oak tree. But apparently, as they're going deeper and deeper into their grief, they both uncover more than they set out to. So that's this book, which it sounds sad. But yeah, she didn't give me many notes on this one, I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, that's what this book is about. She also recommended that one. And anyway, the next one also includes grief of losing a child, is Monstrilio. This is about, I believe it follows both the mother and the father in this book, from what I know. Basically, after these two people's son died, the mother, Magos, carves out a small piece of his lung to save for herself, and basically she's like acting on maternal instinct and like dubious logic and hearing of an old folktale. She's like nurtures a lung until it gains sentience and starts to like grow into not really a child, more of kind of a monster thing. And she apparently is keeping hidden within the walls of her decaying childhood home. But apparently Monstrilio, which is what the lung turns into, Monstrilio is the name of the creature. It gains like impulses to threaten to destroy his fragile second chance at life, and it's about grief and like just like the story of losing a child, and like there's a lot of symbolism in it, and apparently you can't, I don't know exactly what I wrote down, I'm gonna be honest. I'm just confused. I'm confused what I'm trying to, I don't know what I'm saying right now, don't worry about it. But anyway, this is a book that deals with a lot of grief. I believe, I don't know for sure, but I believe there are like four, I don't know if it's four main characters, but like I think it mostly just follows the mom and the dad. But it's from what my mom told me, it's a very powerful story about dealing with grief, and yeah, that's basically what this is about. So yeah, that's Monstrilio. And then the next one is The Reformatory, which this is set in like the 1950s, and basically it's like it deals with like extreme racism. Basically, this 12-year-old boy, Robbie, is sentenced to like this 6 months in this institution, which is because apparently he was trying to defend his sister. He's a black boy, by the way. So he was trying to defend his sister, I believe, from this white kid. I don't know exactly what he was doing to her, but he pushed the white kid down, and apparently he like scraped his knee or something. But he was obviously arrested for that because duh. That's oh, he kicks him apparently. But hold on a second. Basically, in the center, they like torture children, and like I'm pretty sure they also, some of them die in there. But also Robbie has a talent for like seeing ghosts, so there's like a supernatural element to it. So basically he has to, I think he's working, I believe he's like trying to help work with the ghosts, or ask the ghosts for a friend, or hold on a second, I need to get this right so I know what I'm saying. Okay, I've read the back and now I know what's going on. I'm really bad at explaining what these are about, as you can tell. But basically, on the outside, one of Robbie's sister is trying to rally everyone to get Robbie out before it's too late for him, because after he was sent to the institution, him being able to see these ghosts and stuff is not great. So along with two friends, he's able to learn how, he's like trying to learn how to survive in this place, because it's not great, it's not a good place, because also boys that were sent to this place have conveniently gone missing. Dun dun dun. I wonder what happened to them. But yeah, this is like a heartbreaking and anxiety-inducing story, and it's like you get to like really connect with the characters in this. And like it's a decently long book. It's over 500 pages, but my mother said it was worth reading. She initially, my brain's going blank. Don't worry about it. Listen, I don't know what's going on. I can't speak right, and I feel like this is known. But anyway, that's basically what this book is about. But yeah, anyway, let's move on to the next one, which is Sisters of the Lost Nation by Nick Medina. This is like an indigenous story. I'm gonna pause for 1 second just to make sure I get what it's right, what it's about right. Okay, so I was just making sure I was getting everything right. Basically, what the story is about is the main character, Anne, she lives on a reservation, and basically there are like kind of ancient entities that like are also on the reservation, but girls at the reservations basically start going missing, and Anne is trying to like figure out like where are these girls disappearing to, what's going on, because the entire tribe is trying to figure out like where are they, how do we find them. And when her own sister disappears, she's like determined to try and find what happened, because she wants to obviously bring her sister home. So she wants to do everything she can, but there's also a bunch of all the demons that are plaguing the reservation, the ancient and new, are strong, and they're like, they don't want to let her do that, obviously. So I will say, you also probably need to check trigger warnings for this one as well, because I believe there's drugs and sex trafficking and maybe other things in this as well. I personally don't know exactly what the trigger warnings are, but do check them just in case. But yeah, that's what this one is about. Then these ones I'm gonna be honest, I don't got that many notes on, because I just didn't get notes. But we're gonna do the next. Can you tell how well I'm talking today? I had to re-record my intro like probably over like 15 times because I kept not knowing what to say, and it sucks. I'm bad at transitioning onto other topics. But anyway, the next book I'm going to be talking about is this one, which is Mean-Spirited by Nick Roberts. This is, basically this teacher who is an alcoholic, apparently. We're gonna continue now. Basically what happens is this teacher named Matt is an alcoholic. He's also a teacher, but he's hiding his alcoholism from his ex-wife and his 6-year-old son. But then one day, one of his former students dies, crazily, and then she gets killed, and then he's left with her dog, whose name is Conehead, and basically they start noticing things aren't exactly right with Conehead. It seems like people around Conehead kind of just keep getting die. They just basically die. And they realize that there's like a dark presence following Conehead. And they're like, the main character is realizing he has to protect his son, so he needs to sober up and work with his ex-wife to figure out the dog's mysterious past and like what's going on with him and why is there this evilness following him around. But yeah, that's basically what this is about. It's kind of a creepy ass cover, by the way. I'm just mentioning that. But yeah. That's what this one is about. Anyway, let's move on to the last two books that I'm going to include in this, which are both Stephen King books, because she likes Stephen King, obviously, because he's kind of horror icon. Anyway, the first one is Billy Summers, which I actually recommended this one to her. I haven't read this one, but I heard it was good from like some other people, and I was like, I think you should probably read that. But basically, Billy Summers is like an assassin. We're not an assassin. What's it called? He's a killer for hire or whatever, and basically he's trying to retire and just chill out, do his thing. But then one day he gets like one last job offer that's like impossible to refuse, and he's just got to do it. And he was like, just one last one, you know. But that turns out to be a horrible idea, because bum bum bum, basically everything goes wrong. I don't think there's like more to that. Yeah, basically everything goes wrong. That's what it says. That's the synopsis about this book. But this, from what I know, very good book. There is some, like, I believe, like, homophobic language in it against I believe a lesbian or something, but that's because the dude that's saying that stuff is like a horrible person. But I know that's in it. But yeah, that's basically what that one's about. I actually kind of described that one decently. Whoa. Okay, anyway, the very last one that is going to be in this video is Stephen King, The Shining, which this is like an iconic story. This is like a classic, pretty much. Basically, this guy, he gets a new job at the Overhook Hotel, and it starts great, you know. You think it'll be great to just like to spend time and wind down with his family, you know, because nothing could ever go wrong. And basically he thinks this is a great time to spend and reconnect with his family, pretty much, and work on his writing as well. But then a harsh winter sets in, and the location, they feel exceedingly remote. They're even more remote than usual, and there's also more of a sinister feeling, as you do. And apparently the only one to notice the strange and terrible forces gathering is the overlooked Danny, who's his son, and a uniquely gifted 5-year-old, apparently. But yeah, this is like classic. So I don't know what I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what's going on here. You can tell that I don't know what I'm saying. But yeah, I feel like most people, well, I haven't, I shouldn't say most people. I think most people know roughly what The Shining is about, because it's been around for so long, and it's like the classic book, you know. It's also a lot of, my mom mentioned this to me, that a lot of his other books that he's read has references back to this. Like a lot of little Easter eggs about The Shining, which I find cool. But anyway, that's it for this video. By the end of it, it was getting crazy. I don't know what was going on. I can't talk for extended periods of time without messing up at least 47 times. You know, it just gotta happen. But anyway, that's the end of this video. Sorry for the kind of weird pauses and some kind of iffy explanations of these books. Maybe I should have read the backs before I decided to record, but alas, I didn't. So this is what you get. But yeah, that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys enjoy me talking utter nonsense about books, please do make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. So yeah, bye.